Okay, we are live. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elfrida, and on this channel, I share scholarship opportunities to relocate abroad. And then lifestyle too. So if you're new here, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, and invite your friends to subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome, welcome, welcome back. Today we're talking about the Nottingham Development Scholarship at the University of Nottingham, and we have someone who had that scholarship. In fact, I met him at the visa center when I went to get my own visa to relocate here to the UK. So he's not that person, but Dr. Noah, and is going to introduce himself, and then we'll start the question and answer session. So, welcome so much, Noah. Welcome. I am so happy that you came. Thank you so much. Always honoring my invitation, even the last one where we were not successful, but thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Frida, for having me. My name is Noah Ajanaku, and I think the only introduction that will be relevant to this conversation is the fact that in 2021, I
Hmm.
won the Developing Solutions scholarship, that is of the University of Nottingham. So I
Yeah.
think that's the introduction that will be relevant to this. Okay, yeah, my background, I'm a medical
Hmm.
doctor.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's all that matters. Yeah. So when we get into the details of the conversation,
We'll
I
get
think
to know you
everyone
more.
can.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Thank you and welcome once again. So
Mm.
let's start. So, what is the Nottingham Development Scholarship or developing? Yeah, not development, developing scholarship. What's it all
Solution.
about, and why are they even giving it out to international students?
Yeah. So
Mm,
the Nottingham Developing Solutions Scholarship. So from the name, Developing Solutions Master Scholarship.
mm,
So it's targeted at individuals, from Commonwealth countries and developing countries who are, who can demonstrate that they are innovative and passionate, you know, in developing solutions, all right, that will bring a kind of needed change in their home country. So, so from the name, if you put it on the internet, developing solutions, master scholarship, University of Nottingham, it comes out like that. So, and I want to read something from the page. Okay. Um, Give me a sec. Let me log into the
yeah, that's
platform.
fine.
So it is important to know that this scholarship is targeted at all countries in Africa, South Asian, and also listed countries from the Commonwealth is on the website. So you can actually, first thing is to check the website, Developing Solution Master Scholarship, and see if your country is actually among the countries that have been listed, you know, for eligibility for the scholarship. So I feel that is a very unique scholarship because it's given by the university and it's between 50% or 100%. So you can be given 50% of your tuition fee or 100%. So it's on a case by case basis. Yeah, that's what I can say in terms of the introduction. So it's
Okay,
targeted.
which one did you get? The 50% or the 100%?
So if I had gotten 50%, I'm not sure I'll be able to. I'm not sure I'll
Right.
be able to. So I got
Mm.
100% of my
Yeah,
tuition.
I just wanted everybody that's going to watch this video to just know which one, because some people, when you mention 50% or 100%, they kind of just draw back because they just feel like that means the scholarship, how many people do they want to give? This withdrawal, let's say withdrawal symptom or whatever that just comes to. I remember mentioning something online, and the scholarship is a 35% or 100% scholarship. And someone was telling me it's not a full scholarship. And I'm like, 100% means full. So
Yeah,
if you get the 100%, you got the full scholarship.
yeah.
Okay. It's just that they have two options. But thank you. Thank you so much for that brief one. So how was the application like? Or before I even go to the application, what's the eligibility criteria? We know it's talking about people that want to develop or bring out developing solutions and all of that. But what else do will an applicant need to be able to qualify?
So one important thing is that you must be living in that country that have been mentioned.
Okay.
So, for example, someone like me that I'm in the UK now, I'm not qualified. So
Mm,
first you have to be domiciliary in that country, okay,
mm,
or domicile as the word is used. So
mm.
number two is that you must be classified as overseas students, you
Okay.
know. And the third one here is that you must have an offer with university to study a course, and that course must be full time. Okay,
Yeah.
so it means
Mm,
that part time is not allowed. So it can be full
yes.
time taught program, and it can be full time, master of research program. Now,
Mm,
one other thing that is very important is that there are some faculties that have been named, within the university that the scholarship covers. So the Faculty of Engineering. So if your course is within the Faculty of Engineering, you are eligible. If you are selecting a course between Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, that's fine. Faculty of Science and that Faculty of Social Sciences is also another one. So what that means is that if anyone is doing something relating to School of Business School, for example,
mm,
is not going to be covered in this scholarship. So what I will encourage everyone to do first is looking at these three major eligibility criteria,
mm.
which is first, you have to be domiciled in that country. Second, you have to be classified as overseas student. Third, you have to have a full-time offer. I mean, you have to have an offer with the university that is a full-time
Yeah.
offer, and you have to check these faculties and be sure that the course that you want to do falls within this faculty, and which is clear, was boldly displayed on the scholarship page, as one of the pages on the school website. Yeah. So I think these are the very simple eligibility criteria. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mm. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So how's the application? How's the application process for you? What kind of essays did you write? Do you, for people that would want to ask this question, let me ask it. Did you have to apply and receive your admission first before
yeah.
applying for the scholarship, or you did them, simultaneously or one after the other?
So thank you for your question. So one thing that
Mm,
is very important is that first thing is that you must have gotten an admission. You know, it
okay.
doesn't have to be unconditional. It can be a conditional or unconditional
Yeah.
admission, but that's the first
Mm,
thing. So because you can't
mm.
access the scholarship page if you have not got an admission, so it won't even allow you to be able to get to the scholarship page.
Oh,
So
really? Okay, okay,
yes,
okay,
so
okay.
the first thing is you must have secure an admission.
Mm,
So it's from your student page, from your admission that you've got, that you'll be able to access the scholarship. So that's the
okay.
first thing. So it's
Mm,
just important that people know that it doesn't have to be unconditional before you apply. So it's
mm,
just that before you will accept it, if you are successful at the end of the day, before
mm.
you accept it, you must make sure that you've met other conditions to make your offer unconditional. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So, and the application process, I think in my time in 2021, it was, I think it was a bit of much of work, I get, but now
Okay.
is now improved. What do I mean by that? In my own time, it was like 13 question prompts that
Whoa.
you have to respond to. Some are as There are as little as 25 words, some are 50 words, 300 words, 500 words, like that. But now I think it's quite easy now, to be honest. It's just three essays that they now reduce it to, instead of 13 prompt essays. And those
Oh,
three
wow.
essays,
Mm,
yeah, and those three essays now is just, one of them is 100 words, the second one is 300 words, then the last one is another 100 words. So it means that the way this thing sounds to me is like in 500 words, because 100 words 300 words, another 100 words. In 500 words, you can actually earn a scholarship that will pay as high as 24,000 or 26,000, depending on your school fees for that
Yeah.
course. You can
Wow.
pay all your tuition fee with just
That's really
500 with
amazing.
just 500 words.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
But those 500 words will be like, I'm not trying to discourage anybody, right? But
yeah,
those 500 words will be the, let me not say hard, but it will be the best 500 words of your life,
yeah,
because you,
you have to
that
use
person will
them.
want to guard those. You, every single letter has to make sense,
Mm.
you
Yeah,
know. Yeah, yeah, I get you.
it has to because you don't really
Mm.
have words to play with.
Yes,
So,
true.
yeah, maybe when we get to what the question looks like, then
Yes, we will.
we
We'll
can
get
share
to that
more light
point.
on. Yeah.
Because I mean, you need to like hit the nail on the head, like on every word or on every sentence that they make. Okay, so what were the documents that you submitted for admission? I know this is, an obvious question. People are supposed to know, but for the benefit of doubts for my people, please just tell us the documents that you submitted for admission.
So I think one thing is very key here. Be, sorry,
Yeah, that's
beyond
fine.
the regular documents that which is your statement of purpose, why you want to really study at the University of Nottingham. So there are two ways of doing that on the website. Number one is the already existing questions when you get to that place where you submit your personal statement or statement of purpose. The already existing questions per department or per course where you would respond to. So you can choose to respond to those questions and you won't have to attach any statement of purpose. Okay. Or you can choose to ignore those questions, in the application portal and then write your statement of purpose the way you would like to write it and
Okay.
attach it as part of the supporting document. So for me, that's what I did. I didn't respond to those questions, during admission. I decided to
Mm,
write, statement of purpose the way I love to write it, and then
yeah.
attach it to the supporting document. That's one. There was this aspect that people get worried about, um, English requirements, be it
Yeah.
IELTS. So for some countries, it is not required, you know.
Mm,
So for example, I can only speak for my country. Okay. So
Nigeria. Mm,
yes, if you have studied in Nigeria, the University of Nottingham will waive IELTS for you. Although you will see it in the application process, like proof of English and all that. So you don't have to upload it. Okay.
mm,
So what suffice for that is your academic transcripts. So it's a must. Okay. So academic transcript is a must. It's serving two purposes. Number one, it's serving the purpose of proof of your English language. And number two is also serving the purpose of if they need to then decide final decision to select
mm.
if they are too much of competitive or strong applicant for the scholarship,
Yeah.
they will then look at academic, records.
Mm,
And the only place they can get the academic record from is not from your scholarship application page, is when you apply for the program.
mm.
So that transcript is going to serve those two purposes, as a proof of English and also as part of the selection criteria for the scholarship. But I don't want
Okay.
anyone to get worried about the academic, what do you call it now, grade for
Yeah.
the undergraduate degree. I'm not sure
So do you mean
if
anybody can apply?
first, for UK masters, you must have at least two one to apply to University of
Oh,
Nottingham.
yeah, for some, yeah. I think
Yes,
I've seen others that do third class still. So
yes,
let's say for some or majority, yeah.
For
Mm,
University of Nottingham, to the best of my knowledge,
two.
you can confirm that anyway from any
Mm,
just peculiar to anybody's course. You can check your course and academic
yeah.
requirements.
Mm,
Most time, for what I've seen, is 2-1 and above. But I don't think that should be people should be worried about that because there's always a caveat to it. Some courses might say that they also prioritize people experiences. Okay,
yeah,
so
yes, yes,
you
yeah.
you may not have that strong academic record, but you have a very strong and compelling, you know,
Experience.
experience. for that particular master's degree, and you'll be given an admission. Do you get?
Mm,
So that is what people need to pay attention to. And the reason why I actually got there, I digress, was I don't think that, say for example, I have a first class in my undergrad, okay? It does not guarantee anything for me getting that scholarship, okay?
mm,
If I'm competing with someone we are both strong candidates for the scholarship based on our essay, or okay, we are both strong candidates, that's scenario one for our essays, they need to select one person out of the two, okay?
mm,
They might select me because I have a first class, possibly
mm.
because it's stated in the selection criteria that they will make reference to academic achievement along the
Yeah,
line. But imagine I'm competing with someone who I have a very strong academic background, undergraduate, but my essay is not as strong as someone, my scholarship essay is not as strong as someone who has maybe 2-1 or 2-2.
yeah.
They can still pick that person ahead of me. My
Mm-hmm.
first class does not guarantee me anything there.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that at that point, in fact, I'm not
Mm,
even competing with that person because I don't
yeah.
have strong scholarship essays to get my point.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I think that's worthy of um, exploring
Mm,
because it gives everybody a chance anyway. So that's
yes.
just what I want to say in that respect. So I hope I answered that. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. You did well, and explaining that aspect is, is something that people should need to understand. I think I mentioned something like this on Instagram like 2 days ago, because what I was saying is that if no, I think I still have that in my draft. I haven't posted it. I was
Mm,
saying that if you have a 2-1 or first class, you should still apply for that scholarship so far as you meet the that eligibility criteria. So if they've said 2-1, even 2-2, even if they say 2-2 can apply and you're a first class student, it doesn't guarantee you um application, except they mention it that will prioritize first class students. And do you get? But where they
yeah.
mention apply and then they will still look at your essays, it means it's open to all. You just need to start understanding that competitive even it says scholarship, scholarships are very competitive, especially
Yeah.
when they open it up to people of both experience,
Yeah.
um experience, degree, grade and all that things. So it's very
Yeah.
competitive. So that essay point is very, very important. Thank you so much for that. We'll come to the essay, but I have one other question on this deadline you mentioned, this admission. Since the deadline is close, I know the deadline for this scholarship is April. I can't remember the particular date,
April
but
17. Yeah.
yeah, April 17th. Yeah. Was the admission process for you very fast? Because you just mentioned that you would need to have your admission number or maybe student number to be able to apply for
Mm,
for the scholarship. And people that want to apply, and maybe they are getting to see this video today or tomorrow when I post it,
mm,
what would you advise? I don't want them to lose, that
mm.
confidence to say, oh, when would the admission come out? So let's say somebody watches this video today or tomorrow and says, okay, I'm applying, but it's closing on the 17th of April. Do you think the person can get the admission on time and apply for the scholarship? What do you think?
So this is my take, right? I
Yeah.
think that you can always shoot your shots, right?
True, true,
So,
true,
and I cannot speak for the admission team precisely. So, but if I'm going
sure.
to use my experience, I
Yeah.
my admission within 48 hours of paying the application fee, submitting and paying the application fee. So it was within two
Wow.
days of my admission.
Mm,
Now, I need to be very, very careful here. So
yeah.
that is my own experience,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Some
Mm,
persons have actually applied for admission in my school in the last 1 month and they are still expecting outcome. So what is that simply tells you is that it depends on the period where you apply, how many backlog they have in terms
yes.
of
Yeah.
applications.
And
Because I
yeah,
think
and
the
if
way
it's
they
a
are paying
busy
for
time
admissions,
too.
Yes, I think
Mm,
the way they attend to admission is they take it one after the other, right?
mm,
And it will shock you that I actually
mm.
applied in March. In fact, towards the end of March, and I got my admission in 48 hours. So we are still in March, which is quite timely for this. But the
Yes.
only difference between my time, 2021, and now
Mm.
is that the deadline for submission of our own scholarship was in May, was May 7th or so.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
is coming much earlier.
You had like 1 month. Yeah.
This
Over
is
1 month.
coming much earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
So which
Mm,
means that if anyone wants to apply, I would just say go ahead and give it a,
mm,
but make sure that before you apply, because we're already in March, today
yeah.
is 9th. So
Mm,
before you apply, you have looked through the requirements and you know that you have them with you.
yeah. So
And
don't
what
waste
some of those
time.
requirements, you don't waste time. Okay.
Yes.
You can actually apply to any course in one day,
Yes.
provided that you are already experienced in
And you're not a
applying
lazy
to,
person. Mm,
yes, you're already experienced in applying
yeah.
to things.
Mm,
Or give it like few days. Just make sure
mm,
you write a very convincing statement
mm.
of purpose. I think that's the only thing that delay people in application is that
Yes.
statement of purpose. Because every other thing is your biography, or I'm sorry, your
Details. Yeah.
your details. Do you get my point? So
Mm,
it's just your name, your address, other stuff, and
just
probably
yeah.
where you want to talk about your previous experience that is relevant to that application. So I
Application.
think
Yeah.
anyone who is interested should go ahead
Okay.
and have a time frame for yourself. Say before the mid March, you know that
Mm,
you have pushed out your application,
yeah.
right? So you
Mm,
have pushed it out, and you don't wait for admission
mm.
before you start writing your scholarship essays. That's what I would say.
True.
I can
True.
share
Thank
the
you.
essays, the there are just three essays. I can share them
Mm-hmm.
on this call, so you already
Mm,
know which question they are going to ask you in the
mm.
essays, because you will not have access to those questions until you get admission and then you log in. But
Okay.
based
Okay.
on people who did last year, I still
Mm,
know the three questions they asked them, right?
okay.
So once I
Okay.
share that one can apply for, say for example, if I'm going to apply, I'm in
Mm,
this situation and I'm going to apply for
mm.
scholarship. I'll make sure before 14th or probably before, give or take,
At least before
before,
20th. If
yes, before
the person
20th.
is that slow, before
Yeah,
20th of March.
yes,
Mm,
you've pushed it out.
yeah.
You don't need to have your reference documents. You can always get
Then
admission
yeah,
and they will say, okay, your admission
send
is
it.
conditional. It's
Until
conditional
you
based
send.
on you've not
Yeah.
received reference, from your
Mm,
reference. So,
mm.
and if you are good with your referee, you can have your reference letter written and you can upload it
Already.
immediately,
Yeah.
rather than putting their emails and expecting you just start chasing your referees to fill the
All those
form.
stuff they actually take
I
time. Yeah.
prefer to have the letter and then upload, but
Yeah,
it's
me
fine.
too. Mm,
You can do anything that works for you and your referee, but don't let that discourage. Go ahead and apply. So, and then start writing the essays. So if you are lucky to get the admission, I
mm,
guess they usually will push before that April 17th and
mm,
make sure that most people get the admission. So
mm,
some person might get a few days to the closing date, but that
mm,
will not be a problem because they already have their essays written and they've been reviewing it before that time. So they just
mm.
log in one day, put the essays and submit. Do you get my point?
Yes, you can actually
So
even submit that day on before the time on that
yeah,
17th of April, but just before the
you
time.
sh-
I
the
I
most
have that
important thing is just
experience.
preparation before that
Mm,
time.
before
Yeah,
that
you need
time.
to give, I
Mm,
believe, the best scholarship essays are the ones that have been written and
mm,
you've had time to go over and over, you've
mm.
had time to share with someone, you've had time to wait for that part of you that keeps suggesting new things to you.
Yeah,
While your essay is already there, and then you go back and edit and change things and
keep
all
on
that. So that's why I would
changing.
say, why
Yeah.
immediately you submit your application, start writing the essays. So you have
Mm,
enough time. You have the whole of April to keep reviewing, you know,
mm,
before 17. So I think, yeah,
mm. True.
is still is something to try or something. Yeah.
Mm, Thank you so much, Doc. And just a disclaimer to everyone that's going to watch this video. everything we're talking about here is based on our experiences, and Doc is also mentioning different things based on his experiences. We do not work with admission, the admission body of any university, at least not right now. We're not working with any admission body, and not even the scholarship body. We're not working with any of them. We're only sharing the
mm,
information based on our experiences, and maybe other experiences that have been shared with us that would be helpful to you. Okay.
mm.
So we're not guaranteeing you any scholarship or any admission. Okay, but shoot your shot like you can. Okay, nobody is going to stop you from shooting your shot. So Doc, let's go to the essays now. Let's talk about these three essays that would add up to 500 words. Let's look at them at least one by one, and you can give us tips on how to tackle them, you know in your own experience, what you think
Mm.
they are looking for, and what you gave them. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you very much for your question. So before I go straight to your question, there are two things I would like to say. One is that people should be aware that the University of Nottingham um, puts an application fee for all masters application in the university. So,
Yes, I was
and I
going
think
to talk about, ask you that, because I heard you say application fee, and I was like, really? Okay.
yeah. So see, don't, my school is not really joking. So
So how much was
uh,
it?
in my in my time, I think it was 42 pounds. Now it's 50 pounds. So
Ooh,
I know
that's
50 pounds
that's more than
is a,
60K now, Seth.
yeah, I know it's a lot of money in most
Yeah.
countries. But
Yeah.
I remember what a friend told me when I was a bit reluctant in applying. I called her and then she was like, she was the one that introduced me to scholarship. She
Okay.
got it a year before. She got it in 2020. And I said,
Okay.
"Oh, Mariam, you got the university scholarship." She said, "Yeah, don't worry. Next year, just apply, that kind of thing." So she was obviously my motivation, you
Mm,
know, then to say, someone that I know got this scholarship, I'm going for it. There's no going back, you know.
yeah.
So I called her when it was at the point. I've already submitted the application, but the disclaimer is always that your application will not be reviewed if you have not paid application fees. So I
Wow.
called her and said, this is your school that is asking me to pay
Mm,
42 pounds. And then she said something. She said, Noah, how much is 42 pounds in
compared
comparison to the scholarship if you
what they
want
want
it?
to give to you.
So, and I'm like, okay. And that time, my school fee was 22,500 pounds.
Okay.
So,
That's a
and
lot.
I was like, yes, I was like, if 42 pounds out of 22,500, I don't know how many percentage is that, to be honest.
My dear, that's
So that
like,
was what
I
she
don't
told
even
me
know,
and
two
said,
or
Noah,
three.
how much will
I don't
your
know.
42 pounds be when you compare it to what the scholarship has to offer? And I didn't
Yeah.
think twice after she said that. I just said, say no more.
Mm, I'm telling you.
Say no more. So I just
Mm.
want to encourage people that you can also look at it from that perspective. So
So wait,
it's better.
they don't do any waivers, no application waivers.
I think they tried something like that a year ago. And I can't remember how it works because it was not in my time. Do you get? So
Mm.
I think they did that for Nigeria. I think only Nigeria last year or something. I can't
Okay.
remember. People can check that,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
there are usually no waivers. Okay.
Mm.
So, but I think people should check that out. So yeah. So let me go before I go to your question. There's the second part I want to
Okay.
address is the selection criteria. Okay,
Okay.
or application criteria. They said applicants will be assessed first and foremost on how they can demonstrate their vision
Mm.
and tangible plans for developing a specific solution that will positively contribute to key economic, environmental, structural, social, political challenges within in their home country. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so that point is very important to me.
Mm.
You must be able to demonstrate that you have your vision very clear, and you have tangible plan for developing, a specific solution. And look at the word, a specific solution. They know you cannot save the world. So
Mm.
don't be over ambitious about your solutions. Okay.
Yeah.
Be very clear in terms of your solution to a problem.
Yes.
So the way I would like anyone to look at it, because that's the way I look at things, is before you can develop a solution or solutions, you must understand the problems.
Yes.
No one can develop a solution without having full understanding, full
Of what the
understanding
problems are.
of the problem. So
Mm-hmm.
I always say that you should have a problem that you have identified, make
Okay.
it personal, link it to your experience, link
Mm.
it to something very, very close to what you've been doing.
Yeah.
And let's give example, say out of school children in Nigeria.
Mm.
The, for me to be able to identify what are the reasons for out of school children, because that will help me to be able to generate a solution to take them back to school. So I will say,
Mm.
why are children out of school? So let's say, for example, and I found some reason, let's say because of the social economic status of the parent. So maybe
Mm.
poverty is one. Second, it might be insurgency, right?
Yeah.
Third, it might be that there is poor investment in infrastructure and human resource, right?
Mm.
Another one can be more of like, social cultural, factors. So I would then ask myself a very genuine question. Which of these problems will I be able to mobilize resources, necessary stakeholders to address, right? Can you hear
Mm.
me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
So
Mm.
I can then say, okay, out of all these problems, I'll be able to contribute to enriching the human resource.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then I'll ask myself, how? What are the reasons for poor investment in human resources? And then I want to flesh out the reason because I've picked my problem now out of
Yeah.
multiple problems. Then I need to further flesh out the reason for that poor investment in human resource because that's the only way I'll be able to provide, detailed solution to why we have poor investment in human resources. All right. So
Mm.
it might be that, there is that you need to do some form of orientation of people to want to go into teaching, right? It may be that there is some stereotype around teaching or teachers that you want to correct. You must understand why people are not going into that. It must be poor salary. It can be maybe the educational system in terms of raising teachers and all that. So when I'm generating my solutions, I can then say, okay, my solution is going to tie around these problems in my area of interest. Do you get
Okay.
my point? So I'm going
Yes.
to go on advocacy,
Mm.
or form a team that is going to, support in capacity building and then further engage policymakers or decision makers to invest more money into their salary or welfare
Mm.
packaging. Then there is this problem of stereotype around teachers, which I would like to address through this community group, you know, which will
Mm.
help in orientation and all that. So anyone who reads that kind of a thing can tell
Mm.
that you have full understanding
Yeah.
of the problem. And if
Mm.
they invest in you, you already have
Mm.
it clear how you are going to
Yeah.
make that
Very
change
clear.
happen.
Yes. Mm.
That's not over ambition
No. Sure.
because I'm not
Mm.
saying I'm going to do this, I'm going to become a politician, I'm going to support infrastructural development, I'm going to only you as an
Mm.
individual. So,
Mm.
but if you know you are in a position, because if you can stress that you're already in a position where you can push for policy transformation if they train you, we can
Mm.
then say, okay, based on your orientation and position, you're already acting as associate
Yeah.
director,
Mm.
in budgeting and what have you department. So we know your area of interest of wanting to change policy is feasible.
Mm.
Like someone like me who has never been into that kind of space, I've never had any position there. Why can't I look at things that are very peculiar and relevant and personal to me?
Mm.
Okay. So I think it's very important to mention that selection criteria. They now says strong applicants will be able to link this to the learning outcome of the course of study and how this will facilitate their effort. So you are not just writing and say, I'm going to do this. You will be able to link it to your learning outcome from
Mm.
that master's degree. And you'll be able to tell clearly how that will help you to achieve your goal. So they know that that investment is not because you have your vision, but you already know how each module or how what you're going to learn, the outcome of those modules is going to help you and how it's going to help you. One of those things can just be first the technical knowledge. You can learn how to use certain tools. You can learn how to use certain software, which you have to mention, and you know how that software or those tools are going to help you to achieve your one of your solution. It can also be that because what you want to achieve, you need networking. You need to learn and work with people who are already doing certain thing in their country or in the UK. So
Mm.
you know that if you come into the UK and go into that sector you want to study, you'll be able to meet this kind of people, that kind of people that are relevant to achieve your aim.
Mm. Yeah.
Or I know that if I come into the UK and study, it will help me to be able to connect with this person and that person who are already doing this kind of work. It's clear. You've mentioned their names, you mentioned what they are doing. You know you are going to tap into their knowledge while you are on campus. Okay, because you know already what they are doing. You have done your research about that course, about that department, about that university, and you are willing. So it can be in different say, fashion.
Mm.
It's just what is peculiar and specific to you.
Okay.
So those are the things I would like to stress, and it's clearly written on the application website, like application criteria. And the last thing they said there is that so where all the you've met all the need, you've shown that you can develop solutions and you've shown it with evidence,
Mm.
application will then be looked at in line with more traditional scholarship criteria, including your reasons for studying the at Nottingham and what noteworthy achievement. So they are saying that when we have looked at your essay and see that this one is very clear in terms
Mm.
of developing solutions, then we then move to the next stage. That means the first thing they will see, they will look at is, do you have the ability to develop solutions in one of they'll just go to your career essay and read
Okay.
first. If it doesn't make sense to them, forget it.
Wow.
So when they've read the career essay and saw that, oh, this person have a clear idea of meeting developing solution criteria, then they will then now move to other part of the essays and check, okay, why do you want to study in Nottingham? Is that one adding more flesh or more power to your essays? you
Mm.
know, and have you had some achievements that's now
Oh,
adding more flesh or something to your essays? So it looked from the selection criteria, the most important part of the essay. Every other thing are very important. Don't forget they didn't leave them out. They said, and then we'll go to this stage. So the most important thing that will first take you from one stage to another is your career essay. Like, what do you want to do after your
mm.
scholarship?
Okay.
And from my experience, I think that's the
Mm.
most important part of every scholarship essay.
Yes. Yes.
Because I
Mm.
remember part of Chivney application. Forget, yeah, the leadership is very important. You must make sense throughout anyway.
Yeah.
The
Sure.
networking is very important. Why you want to study in the UK is very important. But that career exit, once they sense that something is not clear to you, your vision is not clear.
Mm.
Nobody wants to invest anyway in someone who doesn't have a clear vision, who doesn't have a
Yeah.
clear career plan. So that plan is the most important. Of course, every other thing are also very important because they are not going to select someone who has a clear career plan, but then could
Mm.
not justify why they want to study in University of Nottingham or in
Yes.
Nottingham and couldn't
Mm.
even justify, their objectives anyway. So let me then go to your question. I felt these are very important points to
Mm.
raise
Yeah,
to
it's,
kind
it's
of give.
very, very important because I mean you need to understand this before you write your essays. Because just explaining this, I think I can actually now know the kind of essays they will even as someone who has written
Mm,
scholarship essays. I will now like and I have an idea of okay, I now know what these people are actually looking for. So the essays will just be clearer, you know. So yeah,
And
go
don't
on.
forget, is Developing Solutions Master Scholarship. So from the
Yeah.
name, you can tell what they are looking for. They want to see
Mm,
those people who can develop solutions.
mm,
Okay.
okay.
So the first scholarship essay is, why have you chosen to study at the University of Nottingham?
Okay.
Okay. And it's just 100 words, as simple as like that,
Mm,
little words to
that's
tell
very
yourself
limited. Mm,
tell yourself, why do you want to study at the University of Nottingham? And I think my tips I would share with anyone is that always personalize your reason. Please
okay.
don't fall for the generic terminology. The University of Nottingham is ranked among the top 20 in the UK, among the top
Mm,
100 in the world. I think it's not necessary. I
mm,
won't, as a person, select anyone for scholarship for saying we are
mm,
ranked. That is a very easy information to get anywhere.
mm,
Okay, it doesn't show that you've done your homework well. Okay,
mm,
so I won't really buy that, to be honest. I think I
mm,
will buy more of something that is more personal as to why you want to study at the University of Nottingham. Something
okay.
that shows depth, that shows that you
Mm,
have checked about the university and there's this particular thing the university is doing, or that your department is doing,
mm,
or that the university community are doing, that align very closely with your vision.
yes. Yes. Yeah.
Because forget the fact that they have splitted these essays. It is one page, it is just you, it is one textbook. So there
Okay.
should be that link between all the
Mm,
essays to the end.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
True.
So look at it from, if my interest is to get children back to school, what is it in University of Nottingham that will further help me or open my eye or build my capacity, you know, to achieve that aim? Okay.
Mm,
Is there someone who works within the university or who has graduated from the university that is doing something very close to what you want to do? And
mm,
because you really love what this person has been able to do, you want to achieve similar things. So that's why you have selected the school. Or
okay.
is there something about the strategic plan of the university? Every university has a strategic plan.
Okay.
There are plans that are relating to student development, plan relating to staff empowerment, building capacity, international engagement, contribution to the community. Once you just put on your website, strategic plan of University of Bristol, strategic plan of University of Cambridge,
Mm,
it will show you maybe their 5 year strategic plan. Read it. That's what I suggest. You can
okay.
read it, find something that is very peculiar to you in their strategic plan, and see why that is another motivation. Personalize things. That's what I would say. And that's how I will respond to that. And that will make it very um, impactful in terms of that 100 words, because you are choosing your choice of word, not just writing generically. I want the university is ranked for this, and that kind of a thing. I think people should shy away from that. Um, yeah, if you need to mention names, mention them. If you need to mention achievement that is in line with development that you want to do about University of Nottingham, mention it. So that's that one. Do you have any question for me on that before I move to second essay?
No, no, no. You were point on, like you're spot on that one. Yeah. So you can move to the next one. Yeah.
Okay, so the second essay is what I consider the golden rule, is you know, what you intend to do after you have graduated with that master's. So it's the career or impact essays, and it's 300 words. In our own time, it was 500 words. Can you imagine? So I have a lot to play with, right? So now they reduce it to 300 words. I think they've learned from experience that you can actually show how
Hmm.
impactful you can be with 300 words. So, and I
Hmm.
think
But
I
it's
believe them.
making it more competitive now. Most
Yes.
then when most of us got this scholarship, yeah, it was competitive. But now, with the way things are going on in different countries, a lot of people want to relocate and with scholarships. So now they need to close that gap to make people really really,
So
will I say fight, but really
show
really
that
put in the work or
they know
show, right?
Yeah.
That's the word show, to show
Mm,
that they can do it even with limited words, you know. Mm,
yeah, I agree with you. And
mm,
what I would like to point out, in addition to what you have said, that in our time, it may have looked a bit relatively, I don't know,
mm.
better because we have different amount of words to play with because there are different essays,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
But I also think that a lot of things have actually happened now that is in favor of anyone who wants to come and study in the UK
Mm,
because of the restriction of people who students cannot bring their families. I think a lot of
mm,
persons will not apply, so which kind of make the competition less
mm,
because people who will be applying to come now, people who are they know they don't need to come with their family, and
mm,
so if about people who have applied in my own time, let's say 10% were family people and got the
mm,
scholarship, it means that 10% is taken away. So it's
mm.
or maybe less of 10%, maybe it's now 5% because do you get my point? There are a lot of
Yeah.
things that happen in terms of
Yeah, that's another way to look at it. Yeah,
a lot of things that
really.
happen at
Mm-hmm.
structural national level that
Yes.
already demotivate some people, you know,
Yes. Yeah,
wanting to
sure.
come into the UK. So I would say people should go all
Especially with
out
the
and
dependent
apply.
visa stuff. Yeah.
Yes, people should go all out and apply because it could simply mean that the competition is less. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you can
And that,
actually
yeah, and
argue
that's
that.
what I actually advise people, because if you don't have a family, you're a single person, why start complaining with people that are not married, or
Yeah.
people that are not engaged? If most people, if they're engaged, they come here, and when they are settled, they bring their family,
Mm,
like the person they're engaged to or something.
mm,
So those kind of people may want to complain,
yeah.
because they
They
have
cannot afford,
someone that they are
they
getting
cannot
married to
afford
and
to,
all.
to go that far away from their
Yes,
family for
without,
many
yeah.
years.
But if you're single, you don't have anybody as dependent, then you know it kind of works for you, especially
Yeah,
when you're
in
coming
your
in for
favor. Mm.
scholarships. Yeah, true. That's another way to look at it. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and some married people will still come, but it means that they must have weighed all their options. They are willing to let
Yeah, not
something
to bring
go and
their
all that.
people
So
in. Yeah.
yes, so I think I will
Mm,
encourage people to go for it. So
mm.
for the career essays, what I always recommend is that you need to be clear
Okay.
in terms of the problem you want to address. What are the details of the problem? Like we analyze, human resource. What are the reasons behind that poor human resource?
Mm,
So, and then you should just go straight to the point in your career essays, and you should link what you want to achieve to the knowledge you intend to gain. You know,
okay.
in Nottingham as a whole, and also from individual modules, if you can, that is relevant to your solution.
Okay.
Okay. And
Mm,
the third thing I would like to mention in impact essay, that's my opinion, 100% my opinion.
mm,
And it doesn't represent any other person's opinion. So
mm,
the other thing I would recommend is that you can't when you suggest solutions, you should think at the back of your head how that solution will be monitored, or how do you evaluate that you have achieved your goal.
progress. Yeah. Yeah.
You should be able to show in your essay that if I
Mm,
reach this milestone, it will show my success. Or I intend to reach this milestone to be able to show that I've achieved this particular, aspects of my solution.
mm,
Right? So that's the third thing. The fourth thing I would like to mention is that in that impact essay, show some sort of collaboration in your essays. Be
mm.
able to identify group, individual persons that you would like to collaborate with to achieve your goal.
Yeah.
You know, if
Very
you want to run
important. Yeah.
fast, if you want to run fast, you run alone, right?
Mm,
But if you want to, how did they put it now? If you want to, I guess the second part, if you want to achieve something where you have to run as a group or something, I can't remember
mm,
the second part.
I
So it
can't
is not
remember, but
about, yeah, it is
makes
not
a lot
about
of
running
sense.
fast, really. It
Mm,
is about, making that impact, you
mm,
know. So you can't
mm,
do something alone in making
mm,
that impact. in
Mm.
generating solutions, you should be clear about. That's why you are developing solutions. So you need to
Mm.
know your stakeholder well, and you need to
Yeah.
come out clearly in that
Mm.
essay. This stakeholder, this collaboration will help me to achieve this.
Yeah, and I think
And the
this
last,
is common with scholarships. I'm so sorry, but I think this is common with scholarships. Always want to know the that strength of partnership, and
yeah,
even the SDGs. Partnership is the
yeah,
last goal. So always partnership with the goals, the different stakeholders, and all of that. So it's very important, even when it is not mentioned. I think what you're saying is very true. So even when a scholarship body doesn't mention
mm,
partnership or show us how you collaborate, it's good to
mm,
ship it in, like put it in there and let them
yeah,
know that, wait, I don't know how to achieve my goals alone. Although I am a high achiever, I
mm,
understand that aspect of partnering and collaborating with lots of people to achieve my goals. Yeah, that's good.
yeah. And then the last thing I want to mention on career, I think I decided to spend this time on that because I feel it's the most
Mm,
important thing in any
mm,
scholarship essay. Any
mm,
scholarship essay. And I'm
mm,
saying this because at least I have been shortlisted for two different ones. So I can tell,
mm,
I know what it takes to be shortlisted for achievement, right?
mm,
So I can tell what was the most important part of the
mm,
success of that shortlisting. So yeah,
mm.
career ethics is key. And the last part is it should be clear what you want to achieve immediately, you know,
Okay.
and what you want to achieve in the intermediates and what you
Mm,
intend to achieve in the long term. So I
okay.
think they should be broken down this way to address those parts in 300 ways. So you can
Okay.
choose the first paragraph, what you want to achieve immediately post study. Second paragraph, what you want to achieve in its intermediate. And third, long term goal. An average of 100 or something, you have achieved your 300 word limits. And I need to say here before I forget, those word limits are very strict. Anything above
Don't
those
go
word
past
limits
them.
will not be assessed. The system will allow you to type more than those word limits, but it will not be assessed. It's clearly
Wow.
stated on the website.
Mm,
So and I think it's a trap when a slot has been given to you for
mm,
100 words and is
mm.
allowing you to type more than 100 words.
More
Is that
than
not a
100
trap?
words. Yes, it is. It just makes them to know who is disciplined enough to,
Yeah,
you
who is
know,
paying attention to the selection criteria?
I'm paying attention, because if they should give you a scholarship, like, even if you meet everything, it just shows that you don't pay attention to details, and at the
Mm,
same time you're not even disciplined, because why should you be writing more and not even obeying what's just simple instructions? Wow. It says a lot
mm,
about your character.
mm.
Sincerely, wow. That's really a big trap. Oh. Very big one.
Yeah, it's a big one, and people should be aware of it. So
Mm,
the last question, so that we can wrap up this discussion in
yeah.
1 hour, is your study at University of Nottingham. How will it support your career objective? And I think this is also a very tricky question. Study
Mm,
at University of Nottingham, how will it support your career objectives? How is that different from my career essay of
your
300
career
words?
stuff, yeah.
So you need to be very clear about what you want to put anywhere. So I would
Mm,
suggest under this one is more like you already made it clear what your objective are up because you have your immediate goal, you have your intermediate goal, and you have your long-term goal. I would suggest here this is where to show what is happening within the university. This is not about module per se to me. It's about what are the other things happening within the University of Nottingham community, you
okay.
know, that you think you can be
Mm,
part of or you can learn from that will support your immediate plan, support your intermediate plan, and support your long-term plan. So those are
okay.
your career objectives, right? You have objective for immediate, you have objective for intermediate, you have objective for. So here is another way to flesh out information from your career, but you've not mentioned those things before in your career essay. But you know that from what you have studied about University of Nottingham, or what you've known about them, or for what you intend to be part of, this is how
Mm,
they will support your career objective. And I give you an example. Let's say for your module or for your course, they
mm,
usually do some sort of training or they
okay.
have some sort of certificate that is attached to your course. You
Mm,
can decide to say, that particular certificate or that particular workshop, you know, we support this career objective,
Okay.
or we provide you with this kind of technicality, know-how that is going. You have
Mm,
to be detailed. You have to be very specific. I'm still speaking generically. It's just I'm giving an example.
yeah.
So I say this particular thing will build my capacity in this way and will support this objective, right? It could be that student union activity within
Okay.
the university. You look forward to be part of the student union in this particular area, which you believe that we set the ball or we set the stuff rolling for you to be able to, you know, achieve your intermediate objectives. Do you get my point? And
Yes.
so something like that. So it's just another question to test if you are actually trying to understand the different parts of the questions, and you also know that this is just you that we are talking about, and you have to be coherent throughout that kind of a thing. I'm not
Mm,
talking of out of school children why I want to study at the University of Nottingham. When I got to career, I'm already talking about gender based issue, or talking about, do you get my point?
yeah.
So I'm already dripping off. Is it only me that want to take some children back to school? Only me that want to tackle gender based? Do you get my point?
Mm,
And
mm.
then when I now
Sticking
got to
to,
career
yeah.
objectives, I have lost the touch that I'm only talking in human
Mm,
resource, only in
mm,
human resource part of taking the children back to school. Then I'm now talking about, you know, um, I don't know, something else, that kind of a thing. So these are the three questions why you want to study at the University of Nottingham: 100 words,
mm,
your career plans, that is career plans, what you intend to achieve, you
mm.
know, 300 words. And then the last one is, how is your study, your degree actually? That's what it said. How is your university degree? That degree that you have actually got, how is it going to support your career objectives? So for me, that's a very tricky question because I've been talking
Mm.
about everything in terms of my degree anyway. So why are you bringing
Yes.
out this
Why
one
you bringing it
as how
again?
is my degree going to support
Mm,
my career objectives? So it could also mean that when you have that degree, it will then put you at a level, at a pedestal, where you'll
yes.
be able to grab some other things, right? So
Mm,
that's one reason why that degree at the University of Nottingham will help you to achieve your career objectives. So
mm.
yeah, that's all I have to say for my end. Over.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. I really love this explanation around the essays. I mean, if I should watch this video, if I was not the host, I should watch this video. I should be able to, put myself together, do the statement of purpose, get my admission, and apply for this scholarship, especially with these essay tips. So I believe um my subscribers, I believe everybody and anyone that's going to watch this video or come across this video is going to get a lot of knowledge. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
And I think we've come to the end. I don't have any questions to ask you, but if there are any questions, I think I'll just let everybody to just, let me just say, drop it in the comment section, and I would, as much as I can answer, I would answer. And if I can't answer, I will refer to Doc to help me answer it and send it to you people. But just drop your questions, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much, Doc. I don't know if
Yeah.
you have
Before I go,
any words.
I
Yeah.
just want to say thank you very much for having me,
Thank you.
and that's for you specifically. And
Mm,
for anyone who will listen to this, I just want to say that I might have sounded more like, oh, very technical, that kind of a thing. Don't get
mm.
carried away by that. It didn't happen overnight, right? So
Yes.
the most important thing is go for it. To be honest,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
you
Shoot
can't
your
really
shot.
you can't really tell what you will win until you try.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting it, to be honest. I have received a lot of rejects email. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
expecting him. So, and that for me was an eye opener that sometimes what you are not expecting is what you get.
It's what will even
But
come. They won't,
you,
yeah.
yes. And yeah, so this is my personal experience. This is how I have improved over time that I've just shared freely. Do you get my point?
Mm.
So, which I believe will help someone.
Yeah.
And yeah, people should just believe in themselves. Personalize your approach. Trust me,
Mm.
I think what makes the difference. This and
Mm.
don't copy anything from anybody's essay. I think that's
Mm.
the best thing you can do for yourself because
Yes,
the
please.
assessors have read hundreds and millions of essays in their career. So they just need that spark, something that just sounds different, you know.
Yes.
And the only way
Yes.
you can sound different, the only
Mm.
way you can sound different is to personalize your responses.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Mm.
be very personal. You can have some sort of emotional part of it a bit. If you need to put it there,
Mm.
put it.
Mm.
Okay, these are humans who are going to read your essays.
Read it. Yeah.
So be very personalized. That's
Mm.
the way to stand out. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all from my end.
And try as much as possible to avoid a lot of AI writing your
You can't
essay.
personalize if you use
Yeah.
AI. You can't be
Mm. To
personalized.
just
You will be too generic, and
yeah.
you're not likely to go far with it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's
Mm.
very important, and it makes them to understand that maybe you've been in that position, like you mention of, the educational system in Nigeria, school, and all the rest. You can give one or two instances how you suffered from this lack, or this insufficiency in that area. Okay, it doesn't have to do with anything relating to education. Okay, of course, it
Mm.
must be in your field. Okay,
Yeah.
so if it's a personal story you can share it, but don't forget the word limit. I know that one now limits you, so just
Yeah.
make sure that
Yeah.
every word counts, every sentence
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah.
And I believe that we're going to get a lot of scholars from this video. Okay, so don't forget still to subscribe, like, comment, share to your friends, because I believe a lot of persons are looking for scholarship opportunities. And Doc, you will wonder there are so many people that don't know about this opportunity. So
Yeah.
many people are still
I didn't
um
know about it until my friend told me. So I
so
think
you see.
that's one thing people need to look out for.
Yeah,
University sponsored scholarship are
yeah.
there for people to apply. Yeah.
I think the people, a lot of people know so much about the Commonwealth, Chevening, Mastercard, but they don't know that other universities themselves give scholarships. So,
Okay.
without wasting so much of our time, I want to thank everybody for coming up to the end of this video. If you watched to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'm repeating it again. Thank you so much. Until we see you in the next video. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you. Okay.